Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Jujutsu Kaisen, but today I'm going to be checking out episode 18, but last time was episode 17. Before I say anything, I'd just like to say that episode 17 was noticeably well animated. I mean, just that shot behind me on the GIF alone caught me off guard, and I was like, wow, that looks really good, because it does. For some reason, they really upped the animation budget for that episode. But as for the episode itself, it was mostly about the battle between Maki and Mai, and in the midst of that we learned a lot about their backstories, specifically how it pertained to Mai for the most part, and man, gotta say I feel really bad for Mai, because at the end of the day she got dealt a pretty bad hand. Both her and her sister really have some serious drawbacks to what their circumstances are. In many ways they're like two halves of a single whole, in that Maki, while she wasn't born with much cursed energy, she's incredibly skilled and has superhuman capabilities. But Mai, on the other hand, was born with immense amounts of cursed energy, but doesn't necessarily have the skill to make use of it. And she seemed to have a lot of issues with fear and uncertainty as she was growing up, and then Maki just left her high and dry. She just ditched her to go and be a Jujutsu sorcerer, forcing her to follow in her footsteps when she didn't really want to do that, and it's rather unfortunate. So far, this arc has done a really good job of not making this seem black and white, that, you know, the Kyoto School aren't really bad guys in this. They're their own people who have their own problems, and you have just as much reason to root for them to win this as you would for the Tokyo School, if not maybe a little bit more, because in some ways they're actually, some of them have been a little bit more fleshed out than some of the members on the Tokyo team. I mean, between Mekamaru and Mai, you know, and all the tragic stuff that's been going on with them, I do feel bad for them, and if they win, that's good, but honestly, if there was any bias that I had against them, it's mostly because of that first impression I got, especially with Mai, because when she first showed up, she was just assaulting someone on the street with a frickin' gun, which is just not the best way to introduce a character when it comes to making them sympathetic and reasonable. In any case, Maki won. Mai had one last shot, but she caught it right out of the air. Even with that sneak attack from 5 feet away, Maki is just unstoppable. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to keep rooting for the Tokyo team to win this one, but that's mostly because of Panda, so that's a very biased personal thing, so let's leave it at that. But for now, enough chit-chat. Let's just get into the episode. Not quite sure what it means, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that now, the League of Cursed Spirits has returned, and they're making their move at what one might call an opportune moment for them. I mean, they've got a lot of dangerous enemies all in one spot, but that also bodes kind of poorly for them in that they've got, you know, a lot of dangerous enemies in one spot where they can fight back. Although they seem to have done well in keeping the most powerful amongst them outside of the barrier, which is obviously going to present an issue. Most of the ones here are students. They're inexperienced, even if they're incredibly skilled. Going up against these special grades will not be easy, and a lot of them are also really beaten up. A lot of them are just out of the game already. Mekamaru got turned into scrap metal, and Miwa's asleep, and I don't think she's waking up anytime soon. And a few more just were demoralized. And yeah, apparently they're working with a human, and that human would likely be that blacksmith-looking guy who wants to make stuff out of people. He really wanted to out of Gojo, apparently. I don't know why him specifically, but he just wants to turn him into a coat rack. But he got frickin' tricked. He probably thought that the barrier would block everyone out except him, but it did the opposite, so shucks. But now you face an old man with an electric guitar. Gotta say, I probably should have seen something like that coming, but I didn't. And they continue to expand a bit on the Kyoto School students once again with the guy who uses the blood magic and the bow and arrow. Learned a little bit about what he had been going through, you know, involving his mom, who apparently she thought she'd be too troublesome to have around because everyone hates her. The friggin' jerks. But he still seems very capable. I mean, that ability to buff himself off his own blood to the point where it makes him much faster and stronger is quite interesting, although it would likely be very dangerous if you're not being careful. Kind of like misusing the Kaioken or something. But anyway, I suppose that's going to be it for now, guys, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe to be updated on more. Next time, going to be episode 19. Very quickly approaching episode 20, which will be quite close to the end of the first season. Yeah, but now the gloves are coming off. They've got a lot of dangerous people here on the premises. Mostly this, plant-based one who just really wants to protect the Earth because the humans are screwing it up, which, to be fair, they're not wrong. And hey, at least they acknowledge that there are good humans who want to protect the Earth and are doing the right thing, but at the same time, discrediting them as what are they even actually doing? Is their kindness enough to offset it? That was a really good episode with some well-choreographed fight sequences, in the middle there. And they were just well animated overall. None of the shots stood out to me particularly as good as that one in particular, but that's not to say it was badly animated or anything. It was still really, really good. It's definitely high-tier animation. It's just that all of it is so polished overall throughout the episode that I don't notice it as actively. But like I said, gonna be it for now, guys. Hope to catch you next time, but till then, I will see you guys later.